What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm still on the invisible red flags that you need to watch out for in a relationship, and in this video we're going to talk about culture, okay? Because that's one of the ones that people tend to ignore, or some people don't really pay attention to it, so we're going to go straight into it. Let go. So obviously this particular one, some people pay attention to it, some people don't pay attention to it, and I'm gonna digress it. Obviously in the UK is really diverse, like really diverse compared to where I'm coming from, which is Ireland. But here we've got a lot of mixed race, you know, people from different places getting together, and I think it's beautiful to see mixed race couple. I think it's beautiful to see interracial couples, all that kind of stuff. But then there are some things you need to pay attention to, because it's not every mixed couple, or no, actually it's not everyone that wants to get with another race that is getting with them because they love them. Sometimes they have bad intentions, which is what I'm going to explain in this video. Okay, if you're getting with someone who is not from where you are from, you need to ask questions about their culture. This is so important. You need to ask them questions about their culture, because where people are from and their culture influence how they behave and how they think and their mentality, which is also going to affect your relationship. Now, let me give a quick example. Let's talk about the black race and the white race, okay? Because that's probably like really diverse, right? So when you're looking at the black race and the white race, both race think differently, both race act differently, both race behave differently. If you go to a white wedding, you know, it's different to when you go to a black wedding. Black weddings are loud, are noisy, too flamboyant, okay? But white weddings are not like that. So our culture makes us different as well. And that's why you need to ask questions. Now, if you're on a date with someone, or in a relationship with someone who tells you, you know, I don't care about my culture, I don't eat foods that come from my country, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, but you still need to ask questions, because his parents, I'm pretty sure 90% his parents or her parents would still care about their culture. And if they don't care about their culture, you still need to ask, because some people do things without realizing that they're doing it because it's in their culture, or they're thinking that way because it's in their culture. And I'm gonna give you a quick example. You know me, if I have to back it up with scriptures, I have to. In the Bible, when Jacob wanted to get married to Rachel, he was supposed to get married to Rachel first, but his uncle deceived him to marry Leah. And when he asked his uncle, why did you deceive me? His uncle said, in our culture. This is what his uncle said. I'm going to leave the scripture on the screen. His uncle said, in our culture, the firstborn has to get married before the second. And Jacob didn't know, because Jacob did not ask questions. He did not ask questions about how things were done in his culture. Bear in mind now, his uncle, like Rachel's dad, is Jacob's uncle. That's even like family, and he still didn't even know much about his culture. So it's important that whoever you're dating, if they're not from where you're from, you need to ask questions about their culture, because different countries think differently and they act differently. I've seen some people who, they get married, like I've seen some white people who've got married to a black person, and the black person is doing things a certain way and they don't like it. And I tell them, I said, the reason why he's doing it that way is because in our culture, that's how we do it. In our culture, that's how they think. So because you didn't inquire about it, or you didn't observe their culture, now it's looking strange to you. So you need to be asking quite a lot of questions about it, because if not, you're not going to be happy in the long run when you start living together. For me personally, obviously I'm Irish Nigerian, okay, and as I was growing up, I grew up in a Nigerian home, but at the same time I was living in Ireland. So as I was growing up, I learned to embrace the Irish culture and the Nigerian culture, and I decided on my own that there were some bits that I wasn't going to take in my own, in the Nigerian culture, and then there's some bits that I was going to take, and then there's some bits that I would take in the Irish culture, and then there's some bits that I wouldn't take, okay, because there's some things that I like and there's some things that I don't like. And even till this day, even if I was dating a black man, I would still have to ask him about his culture and how he thinks. I need to know how he thinks. I need to know his mentality, because there's some mentalities I can't deal with. There's some I can't deal with, and then there's some that I can't deal with. So culture is really, really, really important. Some cultures, when the man gets married, he can marry multiple women. This is not even religion now, this is culture. There's some places in Nigeria where a man is allowed to marry multiple women. Now imagine that kind of man getting with a woman who's living in the who's living in Europe, and she didn't even ask all those questions and she got herself into that situation. How would she feel? Because of lack of knowledge, not asking about the man's culture. Or there's some cultures where if you want to get married, you have to pay about like $5,000 to get married to their daughters. There's some cultures like that. If you want to marry their daughter, you have to pay $5,000. You have to, they have to give you a list of a lot of things that they want you to bring to your future in-law. So it's important to ask all these questions. Now, when it comes to interracial couples, when it comes to black and white getting together, you need to be careful with intentions, because some people, I know girls who tell me, I want to get with a white man so I can have beautiful half-caste babies, or I want to get with a white girl because I don't have to deal with all this witchcraft that happens in the black culture, or I want to get with a white girl so I can get my papers in Europe, or I want to get with a white man because they can connect to me on an emotional level. All of these excuses is not a genuine reason to be with someone outside your race. If you are getting with someone, there's nothing wrong with saying that, I prefer to be with a white person, or I prefer to be with a black person. There's nothing racist about that. There's nothing wrong about that. But there's something wrong if you're getting with that person because you want papers, you want beautiful kids, or you want someone who can love you and treat you the way you should be treated. Those are wrong reasons. You should be with that person because you love them. You love them the way they are. You love everything about them, and not just based on the physical, but their soul, how they behave, their character, everything. You love someone to the point that even their color doesn't even matter. You don't even see it. Do you know what I mean? But I see people nowadays, like I remember a few years back, there was this white girl, and she used to tell me that she would never date a white man. And I said, why? And she said, because when it comes to sexual stuff, that she prefers to do it with a black man. So as a result of that, she is never getting with a white man. And I thought to myself, boy, this is a ridiculous excuse. This is ridiculous. So as a result of that, all the black men that she's been dating has been giving her like literally heartbreaks. And I told her, I said, maybe it's about time to switch to another race, don't you think? Maybe you're not destined to be with a black man. And she still hasn't given up, and thank God now she's actually engaged to one. But you see, the problem is not her getting with a black man. The problem is the reason of getting with one. That's the main problem, is the reason behind it. Some of you, white girls, some black men get with white girls because they want papers. And I know it sounds sad, but that's the truth. And that's why I don't really encourage someone dating someone who hasn't got papers, especially if they're not even the same race as you. And that's why you need to make sure you ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you who the person is to you. Because anyone can come up to you and lie and tell you how much they love you and treat you like the best person in the world, but their intention could be really, really bad, and it could result to a heartbreak. So there's nothing wrong with interracial couples, and nothing wrong with getting with someone outside your race, but the intention, the reason is what you need to know. If someone is telling you, oh, I want to date a white girl, I love dating white girls because I hate black girls, and black girls what do this, and I remember there was this black guy on social media, and this guy really pissed me off. Now, I'm not that kind of girl who gets pissed off if I see a black man with a white girl. I don't really care, to be honest with you. But when they ask them why, and they give ridiculous excuses like black girls spend too much money on weave, and I don't want to be with a black girl because they got attitude and they got this and they got that. to me it sounds like, hold on, what color is your mom again? Come on, if you to be honest with you, as a white girl, you shouldn't even be dating a black guy that tells you that he hates black girls. And as a black girl, you should not be dating a white man that tells you he hates white girls. How can you hate your own race? How could you hate your own color? How could you? How? They're your family. You can't hate them. And besides, God doesn't see us with, our color of our skin. He sees us all as one. He sees us all the same way. So that's it for this video. Do make sure you do subscribe to this channel. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that whatever I said in this video, you guys don't take it offensive. It's just the truth, and I hope that I didn't hurt anyone, and I hope that you learn a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until my next video, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.